guys, it's your girl Breonna Queen. If you're new to my channel, welcome! And if you've been here before, welcome back. On this channel, I focus on affordable decor, simple beauty, as well as lifestyle. I saw this table on Pinterest and I instantly fell in love with it. And I thought, I can do that. I can do that table for less than $35. So in today's video, I'm sharing with you guys my less than $35 console table. You guys, the table is super easy to do, and I can say that because I'm not that great with tools. I don't have a lot of skills, and I was able to do this table for less. So if you guys are interested in my DIY console table, then I hope you will continue to watch. So the first thing you're gonna need is about 5 different boards. I purchased all these boards from my local hardware store for less than $5 each. You wanna make sure that you have 2 boards that are longer than the other 3. I'll put my exact measurements down below, as well as on my website, breonnaqueen.com. So I knew exactly where I wanted this table to go, so I had to make sure I measured my tabletop to be the exact length and height I needed it to be. So for this project, I purchased my first circular saw, you guys. I've been wanting a circular saw for the longest, but I just felt like I didn't really need one. So I finally did purchase mine. It's a mini one from Amazon. It was only 50 bucks and it's everything I need. It includes 3 different blades, a ruler to measure, as well as a laser beam to ensure you're cutting a straight line. With the circular saw, I plan to do multiple projects for you guys, so I'm so excited to finally have purchased one that I feel like works for me. So all I did was just cut my line, and then once I cut my board, I went in with a sand block and I went ahead and sanded the edges to make them smooth so don't have any of the wood pieces sticking out or it's prickly. Make sure you sand your board if you cut it. It's extremely important so you don't have wood pieces sticking out, you don't get a splinter, and your wood is very smooth for your table and painting. So now that I have my tabletop finished, it's time to adhere the table legs to the tabletop. I'm using some Phillips flat screws for wood, but before we drill in those screws, you have to add holes into your wood pieces. Y'all know I love my electric drill. I use it often, and I also went ahead and invested in a bigger set because I use my electric drill so much. You guys, as a homeowner, I did not want to buy a lot of tools because I thought I wouldn't need them, but I can tell you now, every tool I have purchased, including my electric drill, including my saw, is an investment, and I've been able to use those multiple times for multiple projects. It just makes your life a lot easier. You want to make sure when you're pre-drilling these holes into the wood that the drill holes are slightly smaller than the actual screw sizes. This is going to allow you to, 1, drill the screws inside of the hole easily, and it's going to prevent your wood from buckling. For this table end, I end up using the 1/64 drill bit. Now, I'm measuring where exactly I want my screws to be. You want to ensure that you're drilling at least 1 inch away from the very end of the table so you don't actually splint the wood. I use a triangle measuring tool because it was on hand to measure, but you can use a ruler, you can use measuring tape, you can even use your hand if you know exactly the measurements that's going to be placed. Make sure you write down your measurements for these drill holes because you will need them later when actually drilling in the screws. Honestly, guys, this table is so easy to do. I'm not a carpenter. I'm not that great at tools. I am very, very beginner, and I was able to do this on my own. And honestly, all of the work combined took me less than 30 minutes for this entire table. So if I can do it, trust me, trust me, trust me, you can do it too. I promise you guys. I promise. Now, once I have the holes drilled inside the wood, I'm gonna add some extra protection, and I actually add some wood glue. And wood glue is just gonna make this table super sturdy. I recommend flipping the table over and then applying the wood legs to the actual wood table because it's gonna make it easier. And make sure you wipe off any excess glue. Any glue that gets on the wood pieces, any glue that's in between the leg and the console, you want to make sure that you clean that off with a wet paper towel or a wet tissue. The reason why is because if that glue dries, it's going to be really hard to paint over. So make sure once you have your leg and your console that you clean up any excess glue. So then I went ahead and allowed my glue to dry for about 30 minutes. And then I added the screws to the table. Now it's time to add the front and back pieces to this table. The great thing about this front and back is it will make the table sturdy as well as cute. I like cute, don't you? So first thing is you want to measure where you will have to cut the wood. I actually laid my wood pieces on top of the table and then just measured that way with a pen. Technically, you want to always measure with a pencil, but you guys, I could not find the pencil in my home to save my life. So sis had to improvise and she used a highlighter and a pen, but it got the job done, y'all. It got the job done. I loved the laser light inside of the circular saw because it really does allow you to cut a straight line. I don't think I would have been able to cut a straight line without it, especially as a beginner. And as you can see, the first time I cut the wood, I did not cut deep enough, so I had to go in with the second time and cut it. So once I have that first edge cut, I went back to my table, measured it again to ensure it was gonna line up. Then I measured out the bottom piece and cut that as well. So once I have both my edges cut out, I'm going to do the exact same thing to the other side. You should have two pieces, the front and the back, and both of those should be cut out at an angle. So once I have those two pieces done, then I'm gonna go in and nail my pieces to the front and the back of my console table. Finished up by sanding the table once again, so that the next day I go ahead and paint the table and be done. So originally I was going to do a wood stain, but among doing the wood stain, I wasn't really feeling how it was looking, and I decided to go ahead and paint it an actual color, decided on white. I am a terrible painter, like terrible. When I paint, I get stuff everywhere. Paint all over me, paint all over the floor, paint everywhere. But your girl, she painted the table. She painted the table. And you guys, all products will be listed down below, as well as my website, BreonnaQueen.com, where I have tons and tons of DIY videos and tutorials for you. You can paint this table any color you want. You can also stain it. It's really up to you. And your girl, as terrible painter as she is, she painted the table, and then I allowed that paint to dry for about 24 hours before going back in with a sealer. You want to make sure that you seal your paint because it's wood, so it doesn't chip, it doesn't flake, and it stays. And this is the after. So this is the finished project of my table. Again, you guys, it was easy to do and I love it. So this was my motivation for this table. And this was my finished table. In my next video, I'm sharing with you guys my YouTube studio setup, as well as some tricks and hacks you can use for your recording. So I'll see you guys in my very next video. Stay healthy, stay happy, stay beautiful, and stay blessed. Bye guys.